The Empire had lost. We had lost. We knew we had lost. We knew when the trade dwindled and stopped. We knew when food and water was rationed. But we truly knew we had lost when we saw the younglings return as cripples. The few who did return to their families. There was nothing like that to drive home the point that our once mighty empire had failed to contain the Terrans. Apart from seeing the Terrans arrive on our own cradle planet, that is. Arriving, and after dispatching the remnants of our once proud fleet, landing. We saw big white Terran all-terrain vehicles driving for our cities. We saw white Terran atmospheric crafts flying overhead. We saw the small bipeds in biosuits surveying and documenting the remaining structures, while other bipeds kept an armed watch. We knew they were planning how to restructure the planet to suit their needs. We knew that everything from the biosphere and down to the crust, would be altered. We knew, because the Empire had done so countless times. As we briefly met out of sight from them, we asked ourselves how bad the changes would be. As we shared what little foods there was left, we speculated on the oxygen levels and bacterial flora the Terrans would require to thrive. And as we parted, we wondered how many of us might survive the changes. Not many would survive or be allowed to survive, we knew, but perhaps enough would that they might dare dream once again, generations down the line. Then, one day, one of their white vehicles stopped in the remains of the local market, and 4 Terrans exited onto the dusty, broken cobbles. A legless youngling, a cripple from one of the countless battles in the war, didn't scurry away in time and was interrogated, told to guide 2 of the Terrans to the community leader. Whispered words spread quickly as we watched from our hiding places. We knew what the Terrans wanted. Laborers, maybe as slaves, maybe under the pretext of volunteers. The Empire had used both in the past. But we knew it might mean food and reprieve from starvation and thirst, however temporary it might be. The Elder slowly walked out to meet the Terrans, not wanting to be cornered in his dwelling like a trapped animal. He shivered in the sun, quills vibrating, as he silently awaited to be told how many laborers our community would be required to furnish, how many of the few who remained would be taken away, never to return. The lead Terran stopped barely 2 arm lengths from the Elder. The silent street became even more silent as we watched from the shadows, straining to hear. The Terran lifted its arms and took off the biomask. Its eyes turned red as it stood, unprotected in the acrid air. Then it spoke. Not in the Terran language, not in interlingua, but in our own tongue, the language our once prideful empire had not allowed any subjugated species to speak. Venerable Elder, it said, what is this community's most critical needs? What can Terra do to help rebuild this village, this community?